But I want to talk to you specifically about investing as a couple. And some of you may be thinking, this is not for me. I cannot. I love my spouse to death. I will go to jail if somebody mess with them. Hey everyone, welcome to Faith, Family, and Freedom. I'm Charles Rose Jr. And today we're going to be talking about working together as an investor couple. So this is something that's so important to me. Make sure you smash that like button and hit subscribe, because we want to bring more valuable content to you. So we're going to be talking about investing together as an investor couple. I made a video pretty recently about supporting your spouse. And I mentioned how my spouse, my wife, she supported me with my real estate investing journey from the very beginning. And that support was more emotional. You can do it. I'm here for you. Let's jump into this together. But later down the road, right after she got her college degree, instead of working full-time in the area of her studies, she asked me if she could work for the business, and she wanted to work together as a couple. Of course, I saw it as free labor at the beginning, but also, obviously having my wife on my team is great. She ended up deciding to work for our business full-time, and so which was great. But I want to talk to you specifically about investing as a couple. And some of you may be thinking, this is not for me. I cannot. I love my spouse to death. I will go to jail if somebody mess with them. You love your spouse. Some of you love your spouse that much, right? Where you will cover for them. You will do whatever you need to do for them, right? But you will not work with them. I know some of you are like that. But for those of you who are okay with working with your spouse, or at least open to the opportunity, it's so key when you work together as a team. So one of the first things I want to mention is when you work together as a team, don't try to step on each other's toes. So one of the first things you need to do is you need to have a conversation to kind of set out the goals for the business. Who will be working on this and who will be working on that? Sometimes we feel like because we're working with our spouse, we know each other, we're just going to go and work and do whatever. That's not a good approach. Like, you have to look at it as a business. So you have to wear two hats. And sometimes one hat you have to put on as a spouse, and then the other hat as a business partner. When you are working together as a team, make sure you set out clearly the goals and the expectations. That is so key. And the second thing to do when you're working together as a couple, my advice would be work in the area of your gifting. Work in the area that you're good at. So for example, my wife, she's great at what she does, but she is an extreme introvert. Most of the activities she's working on, she's not going to be doing a lot of the networking and business building. So she does a great job at analyzing properties and underwriting deals, sending emails, following up with property managers, following up with realtors and wholesalers. She does the business finances. She's great at that, and she loved doing that. She loved just working with, from the computer versus like dealing with people directly. Some of you may be thinking, and you try to like look down on the spouse, like, oh, you need to do this, you need to do that, you need to meet with people. And we prefer to take an approach, let's work where we're strong, right? So she's great at working behind the scenes in the computer. One of my gifts, God has given me the gift of communication. I'm more in the forefront of the business. So I'm out there networking. I go to the networking meetings. I meet with investors. I do that side of the business mostly. I'm the visionary. Like, I see ahead, and I'm looking for different markets, different places to expand the business, building relationships. That's kind of what I do more in our business, because that's the area where I'm stronger. Totally okay. Some people may say, oh, your wife is doing all the work. You're doing all the work because you're meeting the connections and the contacts. No, we're both working in the area where we're gifted. We're both working in our strong areas. So that's very important. The next thing is the third thing. Things can get pretty heated sometimes, right? Whether it be in your personal life or in the business. As a couple, you have to know when to separate those two things. You may be mad at each other. You may have just had an argument. You have to be able to put that aside when it comes to the business. So imagine if my wife was like, I'm mad at you, so I'm not going to do the finances for the business this month. And then we end up finding out, maybe a property manager was stealing from us, or maybe they're not stealing from us, but maybe they forgot to send us a check, or whatever the case may be. We may be missing out on something. Or what I was like, I'm mad at you, my wife, So I'm not going to go to this investor meeting. I'm too mad at you. Well, we may miss a great opportunity. You have to put the anger aside, right? And so what we like to say is like we put on our business hat when we need to, and we put on our spouse hat when we need to. Sometimes when I want to talk to my wife about the business and give some feedback, maybe it's an area that's bothering me, or maybe it's something she's doing that maybe we need to do something different for the business. I say, honey, I'm putting on my business partner hat for a second, right? So just bear with me. And so that's another thing, like prepare them for the conversation sometimes. I observe that you've been handling the situation this way. Here's why I think this situation could negatively impact our business, and here's how I recommend handling the situation going forward. So I've had that conversation as a business partner, and then you could put your spouse hat back on after that, but try to keep it separate and try to identify and communicate when you're about to talk about the business. Try to prepare each other before you get into those situations. Work together as an investor couple. It's going to take your business to the next level. As I mentioned, when I was started on my own, I was closing maybe one property at a time, 1 or 2 properties a year. When I started working with my spouse, we ended up closing even 8 properties in 1 year. And work together as a team is going to help you take your business to the next level. All right, everyone, comment below. Let us know what you think about this video, and we will see you in the next one.